So a while back I started looking for a red dot to use in competition, as a jumping off point. I'd never really used one before. I hadn't even really shot one before, but it seemed interesting and I needed a new project. So I decided to go with the Vortex Venom. I'll go through a few of the reasons and why I do still like this red dot a lot. So first off, the dot's very bright. I do like it a lot. I've been able to find it. At night it's extremely easy, indoor range is extremely easy. The only time it hasn't been as bright as I would like it, and it's kind of a one-off thing. I was shooting against bright white clay kind of dirt at a range, and it didn't go away completely, but it was a little bit harder to acquire off the draw. So I didn't really like that part about it. But other than that, the dot has been great. It's very clear, very crisp. It holds a zero very well. So as everyone knows, or anyone that's tried to shoot the dot on video, that dot just does not translate well. But it is very crisp. You can see there's no kind of halos or anything. It's a great dot. See if I can get a better, yeah, that's about the best focus I can get on that. But it's very crisp. It's just a perfect circle. None of the halos that you get with, the cheap red dots you get at Walmart or, wherever else you go. It is a very crisp dot, and I do like that a lot. One of the other right off the bat things, the battery is located on top. Trigicon, Leupold, those ones, they are not located on top. You have to remove the entire red dot from the slide in order to replace the battery, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to go with this. The fact that I can change that battery without having to unscrew everything, re-torque it down to spec. I can Loctite these, torque them to spec, and then I never have to remove this red dot again. And that was kind of a selling point for me because I didn't want to have to deal with that if I was going to be using it for competition. The batteries are pretty easy to find. I kind of did the math on it, and I found, according to Vortex, it should last about 150 hours on the highest setting. So extrapolating the amount of time I leave it on, it matches. I figure I need to change it every 20 to 25 matches, knowing that it will go longer, but I figured that's it's a good number. It's very easy to remember. The batteries are cheap. I mean, I could change it every 10 and never have to worry, but every 20 to 25 still leaves me, a good couple weekends in between, couple practice sessions, and then I don't have to worry about, mid-match dropping the dot. But again, even if the dot did drop out, if the battery died, it's super easy to change, which is one of the big selling points for me. The adjustments for the, up, down, auto brightening, whatever else you want, are right on the side. They're up high enough that you can easily press them, but they're down low enough that they're not going to get in the way or get hit in your holster or anything like that. I haven't had that problem at all. They're just about the right height for easy use versus getting hit on accident. Red dot adjustment, it's pretty standard with all of them. You just got this little screw hole right there, and it tells you up or down. Same on the other side there for left or right. That's pretty standard for all of them, or for any red dot in general. Couple clicks, and I forget what the click to half or quarter inch ratio is, but it's super easy to adjust. I was on target with a laser pretty much immediately, and then it just took me 10-15 rounds to dial it in perfectly to get it to where it really is a tack driver. I do have one issue, not necessarily with the red dot, but with a red dot on a Glock 17. From what I've been able to read about and research online, this is an issue across the board with the Glock, with the Glock 17, that is. If you look on the front there, I have all these little dings. And that's because, for some reason, the Glock 17 won't eject brass all the way out. They call it BTF, brass to face. There's a ton of different names for it, but for some reason, the Glock 17 just ejects the brass straight into the red dot. It doesn't hit the lens, but it does kind of chip away at the paint on this, on the shield here, or the cover here. I've been trying to fix that, but I haven't been able to yet. I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. Basically, I've changed the extractor spring. I got a new barrel. I tightened everything up. I lubed everything up really well, everything that I could. I really played with this a lot to try and get that brass to eject outwards instead of into the red dot. And to be honest, it's not really ejecting into the red dot. What's happening is it's ejecting upwards, and the red dot is hitting it on its way back forward into battery. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to fix that, but I will be working on that issue. So with that, I mean, this thing's taking brass to the rim or to the cover here as it's coming forward, and it has not caused any issue. It is still working. It's taking all the abuse I've given it, and I'm a little hard on most of my equipment, and this is no exception. So far, it seems like it's going to last forever. And Vortex does have a great warranty, so if you do happen to do something to it, you can get it fixed. But I feel like it's something with the Glock 17, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet. From the holster, the red dot is extremely easy to acquire. I did a bunch of practice with the laser light training cartridge here. I'll link below. I did a review on this as well. I'll go ahead and link that below so that you can see. Maybe it's something that you want to get. It did make learning to acquire that red dot much easier, and I do think it did help me with my times in competition. But this red dot, I mean, it's bright, it's crisp, it's clear. You can find it straight out of the holster. Once you kind of get the new your new eye point of aim down, it becomes much more intuitive. But that learning curve is there. It is kind of weird to not focus on that front sight, pulling your eye back a little bit to focus on the red dot. It's different. It's not bad, but it is easy once you kind of get the eye trained down, and going back and forth becomes second nature, and it's very easy. I don't have a problem switching back to irons, back to red dot, and I shoot both equally as much, and I'm happy with both. So I would buy this again. I really do like this Vortex Venom. I really like how it stood up to everything I've put it through. The dot is nice and crisp. It's nice and clear. It hasn't had any issues with moisture or anything like that. I really do like it a lot, and I would definitely recommend it for someone who's just getting into the pistol world. Maybe doesn't want to spend the Trijicon or Leupold money. They want to just kind of get in, test the waters a little bit. I would use this on a carry weapon, no problem. My next one will probably be a Trijicon, just so that I can start comparing a few, but I would have no problem throwing this on any carry weapon, match weapon, whatever else I may be using, or as backup, on a AR for competition. It's super easy to adjust. Like I said, that battery compartment on the back, I mean, that's a huge deal, because that's just less tools you have to have. It's less of a hassle, super easy to change. I just think that's a great way to do that, and that solves a problem that maybe some of the other ones didn't think of. I would buy this again. I'm super happy with the purchase. I like everything about it. It's nice and flush. It's very well put together. No screws have backed out at all, which I think is a great thing, because the tiny screws, those of you that are hard on equipment know that those tiny screws back at everything, but these have not moved at all. Never had to tighten them, never had to adjust them, so that's super nice. It holds zero extremely well. That dot is super crisp, super clear. So if you're hesitant or you're just wondering which one to buy, I can definitely recommend the Vortex Venom. But like I said, I will get a Trijicon or a Leupold next, only to compare, but I am extremely happy with this as it is. For those of you that want a little more detail and a few more images of different things in a little more detail, I do have a write-up. I'll link it below. It has a few better, clearer images of the brass to the red dot here, and a few other little tips and tricks that I've learned while using this. So that link will be below. I will also put a link to the people that did the slide work, just in case you're curious, and the barrel trigger. I'll put all that below. just in case that is something you're also interested in. I'll put a link to the build of this gun as well. That way you can see each and every individual piece if you're looking to build a nice little competition gun. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.